This is the Gerry Callahan Show.
Well, it's finally happening. 9 months and 5 days after Donald Trump took the oath for the second time, took the office, and we said, oh, please, let's start arresting these criminals. And we said, we'll give them time. We'll give them a little bit of time, a little bit of patience. Well, to quote Joe Biden, our patience was wearing thin. We were waiting for months for somebody to be held accountable. We sat here, we had a front row seat for 4 years as Joe Biden weaponized the DOJ, the FBI, all the agencies to go after his political enemies, putting them in jail, arresting them, trying to bankrupt them. Lawyers, they disbarred lawyers. They arrested anybody in Donald Trump's circle. Yes, here are the mugshots, in case you forgot, of all the people arrested for being part of Trump's team. That's all. I mean, they made things up. You know what they did to Donald Trump? They changed the laws in New York so they could bankrupt him. They turned misdemeanors into felonies. They changed, the governor signed a bill into law extending the statute of limitations so this whack job, E. Jean Carroll, could make up some story about how Trump raped her in a dressing room at a department store. Absolutely went after them with all they could and tried to put him in prison, bankrupt him, tried to kill him. Let's be honest. They did everything they could to stop Trump 2.0. They failed, and now we are at the finding out stage. Yesterday, James Comey was indicted on 2 counts. It could grow to more counts. It will likely grow to more counts. First count, giving false statements to Congress, saying he did not authorize leaks to the media, which is a crime. Second count, obstruction of a congressional proceeding. He's facing 5 years in prison, but again, they could add more to this. The deadline for this was Tuesday, and we were wondering what the hell they were waiting for. And yesterday, we got our answer. This agency, the Department of Justice, was so corrupted. There was such rot. It was so rigged. It took a while for them to get the bad actors out, including James Comey's own son-in-law, who quit yesterday. Yes, for the last 9 months, the DOJ under Donald Trump was staffed by James Comey's son-in-law and other James Comey loyalists and Trump haters. I'm not sure why it took 9 months, but finally they got them out of there. They brought in a fresh face, a nice face, Lindsay Halligan, a week ago. And yes, she produced in short order this indictment, these 2 counts against James Comey. And they couldn't start with a more deserving person. Let's be honest. Obviously, James Comey committed crimes. It is absolutely hilarious watching the media attempt to spin this, to attempt to defend this absolute sleazebag. He is being, we know the counts, we know the crimes, but let's face it, he's being indicted for arrogance, for hubris, for narcissism. This man could not shut up. He couldn't stay out of the limelight. He couldn't stay off MSNBC. He wrote a book which will be used as evidence. He hung himself, and it's absolutely glorious to watch him now turning himself in today and hopefully getting mugshotted, fingerprinted. We would love to see him in an extra long orange jumpsuit. And we'd love to know, like, what would be the circumstances that he would face in prison? Would he get an extra long bed because he's like 7 feet tall? He laid out the whole scenario. We'll get to it. Of exactly how they would put Trump in prison for the phony charges. It's remarkable watching analysts and Democrats and these media hacks say this is unprecedented. That's what the Wall Street Journal called this indictment. Unprecedented. What? Have you been in a coma for the last 4 years? Unprecedented? You got to be kidding me. We watched dozens of Trump people get indicted, arrested. We watched their homes being raided. As Roger Stone pointed out this morning on X, he said, yeah, he's happy about this, but why didn't they do to him what they did why didn't they do to Comey what they did to Stone? They raided his home at the crack of dawn with 29 armed federal agents and a CNN camera. That's not how they did this with Comey. So it's great that he's indicted, but it's hopefully just the beginning. Let's go back. Let's do this, because this guy is he's so guilty. I love listening to analysts say, oh, it's going to be tough to prove. Really? I mean, maybe a jury in Virginia will be stacked. You got a Biden-appointed judge, so maybe the trial will be rigged, like many trials in the D.C. area. Maybe the jury will be full of Trump haters who won't even listen to the evidence. But I'm a layman here. I'm a simple man, as Bill O'Reilly always said. I see a man in front of Congress lying his ass off, and as I've said for years now, isn't that a crime? Isn't that perjury? Get the incriminating moment in front of Congress with Chuck Grassley, who's 1,000 years old, but he's still good at this. He's still keeping it simple and focused. And watch James Comey hang himself under oath on camera in front of the world. Go ahead.
Director Comey, have you ever been an anonymous source in news reports about matters relating to the Trump investigation or the Clinton investigation?
Never.
Have you ever authorized someone else at the FBI to be an anonymous source in news reports about the Trump investigation or the Clinton investigation?
No. I needed to get that out into the public square. And so I asked a friend of mine to share the content of the memo with a reporter. Didn't do it myself for a variety of reasons, but I asked him to because I thought that might prompt the appointment of a special counsel.
That was 1 month apart, both in front of Congress, both under oath. He says, no, never. And then he explains how and why he leaked classified information to the media through his friend, Professor Daniel Richman, who has been subpoenaed, who was subpoenaed a week ago. So this man clearly, unequivocally lied in front of Congress. And today, this morning, I couldn't help but MSNBC throwing a tantrum because their guy clearly, now, could anyone explain to me in such simple terms what Trump did to get indicted by Alvin Bragg in New York City? Could anyone explain to me what Roger Stone did or Peter Navarro did in that simple terms right there? Did you leak? No. A month later, he explains exactly to whom and why he leaked. I'm really not sure what the defense is, but he claims he's innocent. Get his statement from last night. Again, the man is just so arrogant. He's just so full of himself. He thinks he can talk his way out of this. Right now, his best bet, his best chance is a rigged jury, and he knows it. So he might beat the rap. He's got, again, a Biden judge. He's going to have a Northern Virginia jury. It's a good thing, by the way, that in one of these instances, he was on Zoom during COVID, and he said these things in Virginia. The questions were asked in Washington, but he answered in Virginia. So at least there's a chance that the jury won't be, 12 Biden-Harris voters. But anyway, here's James Comey last night professing his innocence and vowing he will not cower in fear. Go ahead.
My family and I have known for years that there are costs to standing up to Donald Trump, but we couldn't imagine ourselves living any other way. We will not live on our knees, and you shouldn't either. Somebody that I love dearly recently said that fear is the tool of a tyrant, and she's right. But I'm not afraid, and I hope you're not either. I hope instead you are engaged, you are paying attention, and you will vote like your beloved country depends upon it, which it does. My heart is broken for the Department of Justice, but I have great confidence in the federal judicial system, and I'm innocent. So let's have a trial and keep the faith.
Oh, good. He's going to hang himself. There is so much out there. There's so many posts and interviews that he did, and I understand why this is where the Trump DOJ is going to start. This man was as politicized as it gets. He was the head of the FBI. He was our leading law enforcement agent in the country, and his hate for Trump, his partisanship just bled through in everything he said or did. Get the clip from this is January 21st, 2021. Yes, the day Joe Biden took office, the day Donald Trump got on the chopper and went back to Mar-a-Lago. This is the former head of the FBI talking about what should be done to the now former president to stop him from ever returning to power. Again, he's supposed to be neutral. He's supposed to be a cop, essentially. And here's what he had to say the day Trump left D.C.
Convict him, bar him from future service, have the local prosecutors in New York pursue him for the fraudster that he was before he ever became president, lock him up for the garden variety frauds he did there, but don't give him that center stage, that dominant role in our national life just down the street from where Joe Biden is trying to heal this nation.
Convict him, disbar him, keep him away from public life. That was his objective. That was his goal every day when he woke up. Stop Trump. This is why Trump's back. This is why people are pissed. This is why we're looking forward to the mugshot and the trial, because we knew the DOJ was politicized. It's hard to believe he worked for Trump before he got fired. You know why he didn't indict Hillary Clinton, even though she clearly destroyed 30,000 emails and obstructed justice? Because he thought she'd win. He thought Trump would lose and she would win. He's all about power, and he's all about partisanship. He's all about it. Stopping Trump, helping Democrats, and he worked with Democrats, as we know, to stop Trump, to overthrow Trump in 2017. He worked with Obama and Biden and Clapper and Comey and Brennan to stop Trump. And he's going to stand there now and say, I'm not going to go out on my knees and cower in fear, and I'm innocent. Well, good luck with that, Jimmy, because you sure don't sound innocent. And we have the receipts. We have the video. We know what you did. We know what you said. And he will have all the mainstream media, all the Democrats who are now saying who are no longer saying no one's above the law, and people should be held accountable. Let's be honest. If you or I did this, if I did this, if I lied under oath in front of Congress, I would be in jail already. He thought his friends in the deep state could protect him, and they will try, but I'm not sure they're going to succeed. Here's James Comey with Jen Psaki, a member of the media, a journalist now, explaining the logistics on how they could put a sitting president in prison for the made-up counts in New York. Again, no one can explain to this day what Trump was charged with, why they were trying to put him in jail for the rest of his life, a misdemeanor that became a felony, that became a campaign finance violation, that became hush money. But this guy, this alleged cop, wanted to put him in prison. Here he is explaining how that would work.
So a lot of people have suggested that there are a range of factors that would make it difficult to put the system has not been tested in this way. Do you agree with that it would be difficult or nearly impossible for the law enforcement institutions to put him in actual jail?
No, they would just put him in a double wide somewhere out near the fence, out in the grass. and he would eat there, he'd shower there, he'd exercise there, he'd be away, as Danya Perry said, from general population, but it's obviously doable.
Obviously doable. Yeah, we can put him in prison, no problem. He wanted it so bad. He could taste it. And he knew if they could convict Trump that he would be off the hook. That was his best hope. He knew he was part of the coup. He knew they changed intelligence reports to claim Russia. He went before Congress and laid out the whole Russia collusion hoax as if it were real when he knew it was fake. There's never been a public official who's more clearly, in my mind, guilty. But it is amazing to read this because, again, we were impatient. We were saying, when are they indicting him? Why? What are they waiting for? This is from Laura Loomer this morning, before we get to the media here. From Laura Loomer last night. And again, she's nuts, but she's a good reporter. She can dig stuff up. I didn't know this. Did you know this? She writes, one of James Comey's 6 kids works for a DC-based nonprofit, a legal group called Legal Aid that provides pro bono legal services to illegal aliens. That's not important. But in addition to James Comey having 3 family members who've worked at the DOJ under Donald Trump, I'd like to let everyone know that if Comey cannot afford a lawyer, one will be provided for him. Meet Claire Comey, the daughter of disgraced former FBI Director James Comey. She's a staff attorney at Legal Aid DC, the nonprofit. She goes on to explain that James Comey's son-in-law was in the DOJ making decisions until yesterday. How is that possible? Let me get his name. Put that up there on the screen again for me, because it explains everything. They haven't got these deep state swamp creatures out yet. Been 9 months, and Comey's son-in-law was still at the DOJ. Comey loyalists, Comey supporters were still in the DOJ, slow walking this until they were hoping until Tuesday, when the statute of limitations would be up. And fortunately, someone in the Trump team woke up and got rid of him. And now we have, Trump loyalists. They call them Trump loyalists. That's what the media will tell you. They're Trump loyalists. Well, good. It's his DOJ. He's the president. Why would you want a Biden loyalist, a Comey loyalist in a position of power, making decisions on who will be indicted, arrested, convicted? It's insane to think we were sitting here on September 24th and James Comey's son-in-law was in a position of power in the DOJ. But that's all changed, thankfully, which of course is upsetting the mainstream media. This is absolutely hilarious. Watching them claim that we've never seen anything like this. No, we've never seen a president go after his political enemies. It's just revenge. It's retribution. I mean, where do they think we weren't alive, awake, aware of what happened the last 4 years, of the number of people indicted, arrested, put in jail for being Trump, for being part of the Trump team? There it is again. All the mugshots. You forget all these people. There's Rudy Giuliani and Peter Navarro and John Eastman and all of them lawyers who were disbarred for working for Trump. That it goes beyond that. Again, it goes to conservatives, Trump people being debanked and deplatformed and fired for working for Trump. They put the full force of the federal government on this to stop Trump, and they failed. And this is the result. Trump's in power now. The bad guys are being held to account, and hopefully Comey is just the first. Again, good place to start, but it's just a start, because we know he wasn't alone, and it will be interesting to see if a weasel like Comey starts flipping on people to save his ass. But even better is watching the media. Just they do not care one bit about their professional dignity, about professionalism. That is secondary. We saw it in Dallas. We'll get to that. They will do everything in their power to protect Democrats, to protect deep state actors. The worst one of all, if you're not aware, this guy, Ken Delanian from NBC, Deep State Delanian, who is a mouthpiece for the entrenched bureaucrats in the DOJ, in the intelligence services. Everything he says, is right from those Trump haters who are still ensconced in the federal bureaucracy. Anyway, I was curious to what's he going to say here. We just played for you, James Comey lying under oath. It seems pretty clear to me. Again, there are a lot of factors. Maybe he'll get a friendly jury. Maybe the judge will rig the trial. Who knows? But here is an NBC reporter claiming this is totally different from what they did to Trump. Yeah, it is. It's a much clearer case, much easier to understand than all the cases they brought against Trump in their effort to stop Trump. But listen to this absolute whore, this common streetwalker claiming that this is totally, this is weaponization of the federal government. Go ahead.
That is a watershed. That is a line that we have crossed now in this country. And Republicans are going to say, Jen, well, wait a second. Didn't the Biden administration do that? Didn't the FBI go after Donald Trump? That was completely different. That had no resemblance to what happened here with James Comey. Those were investigations based on the facts and the law, pursued by career FBI agents and career prosecutors overseen by a special counsel, totally walled off by any of the political leadership in the Biden administration. Millions of Republicans do not believe this, and that is one of the reasons we are where we are, but it is a fact. And this, what happened with Comey is so much different.
So much different. Did you follow up and say, explain it? Why is it so much different? It is different. This guy clearly committed a felony. We saw it. We just played it for you. He said he didn't leak, and a month later he explained he leaked, why he leaked, to whom he leaked. I'm not sure where the wiggle room is there, but this clown will certainly help Comey in his case. How do you even do that? How do you even look in the camera? How do you have that little professional dignity that you will say that this is totally different than what they did to dozens and dozens of Trump people? It's amazing. Trump posted this morning, of course, on Truth Social. I don't always love these truth posts because, as we see, he can cross the line at times, like he did when he ordered Pam Bondi to go after certain people, naming names. But this is what he had to say about Comey. He says, whether you like corrupt James Comey or not, I can't imagine too many people liking him. He lied. It is not a complex lie. It is very simple, an important one. There's no way he could explain this away. He's a dirty cop and always has been, but he was just assigned a crooked Joe Biden appointed judge. So he's off to a good start. Nevertheless, words are words, and he wasn't hedging or in dispute. He was very positive. There was no doubt in his mind about what he said or meant to say. He left himself zero margin for error on a big, important answer to a question. He just got unexpectedly caught. James Dirty Cop Comey was a destroyer of lives. He knew exactly what he was saying, and that it was a very serious and far-reaching lie for which a very big price must be paid. You know what? He's not wrong. It is not complex. As much as Ken Delanian and Joe Scarborough will attempt to muddy the waters, it's, again, it seems pretty simple to me. We just played it. We heard it. We saw it. We've played it for a couple of years now. This guy made no bones about it. His goal was always, since the day Trump fired him in 2017, he's been determined to stop Trump. He failed. He lied. He leaked. He rigged. He conspired. He did everything he could to stop Trump. And today we should ask, what did you think was going to happen? You failed to stop Trump. You failed to jail him. You failed to bankrupt him. You failed to kill him. And now we are at the finding out stage. And here we go. James Comey is first. We're waiting right now for the mugshot. Hopefully, hopefully we get to see him in an orange jumpsuit, and hopefully he's fingerprinted, because he is a criminal. I don't even see where there's any debate. They'll do their best, though. They will do their best. There's so much. We could do Comey clips all day. Again, the other people who get arrested, who get indicted, we're not going to have as much on them, because no one is as arrogant as James Comey. He couldn't turn down an interview. His book is full of evidence. He posted, I mean, this con posted pictures of him with his Biden-Harris thing, shirts and mugs. He made the little shell. He wrote out 8647 in shells. Imagine how arrogant you have to be when you know that he's the sitting president and you know you're being investigated, to go out on the beach and post a threat to the president. It is, you're not going to, there will be more defendants, but you will not see one more arrogant than this guy. And that's a good thing, because it's all going to be used against him. He had a right to say nothing, and he didn't take the chance. He never stopped lying. But we will see. It's too bad they can't indict him in Texas or Florida, but we'll see what happens in Virginia. But we got so much to get to on this Friday. What a wild day. Netanyahu's speaking in front of the UN right now. All the anti-Semites walked out, speaking to a small audience. It looks like his teleprompter's not working either. He's looking at his notes, but he's a damn good speaker, and he will get through it. And we're looking at, we've moved on from arrest Comey to arrest Antifa. That's where I am right now. This has to happen. As we talked about yesterday, the biggest threat right now is left-wing violence, political violence from the left. Went through the whole list. The last 6 months, there's been dozens and dozens of violent attacks by left-wingers, many of them on ICE, trying to kill ICE agents, heroic federal agents who are just doing their jobs, who are just following the law. And Democrats have decided to choose violence. And yesterday, among many other things that Trump did, what a day he had. He was just nonstop all day. He signed an executive order allowing them to go after this domestic terrorist organization. This is long overdue. We are looking at a real threat, much, much more dangerous than ISIS or Al-Qaeda at this point, or any of the other 81 terrorist organizations, foreign terrorist organizations. The domestic terrorists in Antifa and other groups, they're the real threat. And we have to go after them. We have to see arrests of these Antifa cells who are plotting and planning to commit more violence, to attack ICE agents, to kill more people. Thankfully, the most recent attack did not kill any ICE agents. It killed one illegal alien and injured 2 others because he was a terrible shot. We'll get to that. And but here's Trump signing this executive order, which we hope turns into action, and we hope we see Antifa, these anarchist, nihilist scum that are committing so much terror around the country. Watch this.
In recent weeks, months, and years, we've seen a tremendous upsurge in some highly visible, but also other acts of domestic terrorism and organized political violence being perpetrated by radical, politically motivated groups all over the country. What this presidential memorandum will do is set off an administration-wide response to that.
This is the first time in American history that there is an all-of-government effort to dismantle left-wing terrorism, to dismantle Antifa, to dismantle the organizations that have been carrying out these acts of political violence and terrorism. This is part of an organized campaign of radical left terrorism. It is structured, it is sophisticated, it is well-funded, it is well-planned. There is really no parallel like this to anything else in the country right now. Because of President Trump's strength, because of his vision, because of his leadership, we are now going to use the entire force of the federal government to uproot these organizations root and branch.
Yes, That's what I want to hear. There's Trump signing the order. Uproot these organizations, root and branch. There are thousands of these terrorists out there around the country. We see them every night in Portland, Oregon. We saw them in Texas. We saw an organized effort to assassinate ICE agents on July 4th. They got those guys, 11 of them. But we need to know, like, who is planning and plotting the next attack. And I got a good place to start. Don't have to even get on a plane if you're in the FBI. This is Georgetown University this week. Georgetown. Tell me why this isn't inciting violence. They put up flyers on campus in one of our most illustrious universities. Hey, fascists, catch. The only political group that celebrates when Nazis die. This is the John Brown Club. And they have a QR code if you want to join and go to the next meeting. Well, why doesn't Kash Patel infiltrate the John Brown Club? Why is that not inciting violence right there? Hey, fascists, catch. Using the words of the assassin who took out Charlie Kirk. Why don't you start there? Why doesn't everybody in that club, why are they not handcuffed and taken away today? That is not free speech. That is inciting violence. That is threatening violence. And what, as someone pointed out on X, Steven Crowder's producer infiltrated Antifa. He went to Antifa rally and as posed as one of us, a member of Antifa. If a radio producer or a podcast producer can do that, why can't Kash Patel? Why can't he do it today? Why can't these people be arrested before they kill again? We know the profile. I mean, the guy in Dallas, Joshua Wan, 29-year-old loner who shot and killed an illegal alien, wounding 2 others, made it quite clear. As Kash Patel explained yesterday, he plotted and planned this extensively over months. He went on websites which track ICE movements. Okay, how about we look into those websites? It is amazing. Google and Apple said they will not take down those sites. They will. I mean, 4 years ago, they would take you down if you said, Rachel Levine's a man or Dr. Fauci's a liar. But if you say, here's where ICE is going to be today, that's okay, according to Google and Apple. And this guy, Joshua Wan, used those websites to track ICE. He knew when they would be there. He knew when they'd be transporting illegal aliens. That's why he struck first thing in the morning, because he knew that was the time they'd be delivering, dumping off illegal aliens at that detainment center. And he also studied the Charlie Kirk video many times, like dozens of times, watched the video. That's what you call a copycat. And he's not the last. But this was an amazing thing to watch yesterday. Other than the outrageous revelation that he's using these sites, which are still up, will remain up. They took down Parler, the entire platform of Parler, because they said they incited violence. It didn't really, no more than any other site. They said January 6th should use it. So they eliminated Parler. But the site's tracking ICE so people can kill them. That's okay. That's still up. Here's what they found in the notes of Joshua Wan. He wrote, hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror to think that there is a sniper on the roof. He literally wrote down what he was planning to do. Instill real terror in ICE agents who are, again, just doing their job, following the law that Congress wrote. And yesterday, this was incredible. We played you a couple of these clips yesterday, but the media still went on there and said the motive is unknown. It is so revealing. Again, these are alleged reporters. They're supposed to be, getting the facts. He was motivated by his hatred of ICE. He was indoctrinated into the cult that thinks ICE are Gestapo and Nazi. He was taking his cues from from all the politicians who keep saying that ICE are Nazis, Gestapo's disappearing brown people, and he was studying the assassin of Charlie Kirk. And these people, one after another, here's a montage. Here's 9 reporters, analysts, hosts, anchors on mainstream media outlets, cable, and other MSNBC, CNN, telling you after they found out that hell, I don't even know why you need his notes or the messages on the bullets saying anti-ICE. I don't even know why you need that. He was a crazed left-winger who thought he could stop ICE, took up arms and tried to kill them. And here's how they reported it.
There's no explicitly leftist motive here. Instead, it was motivated by maybe a hatred of ICE.
Despite the motive in this case not yet being clear, President Trump, almost immediately blamed what he called radical left Democrats.
Well, it certainly says that it may point to motive, but I would not jump to any conclusions just yet. So there's this performative nature to this. So he hates ICE, say, but that's not enough.
And while President Trump and members of his administration are tying this attack to what they call rhetoric on the left against ICE and law enforcement, investigators on the ground here say that the shooter's motive remains unclear.
We do not know, however, the motive of the shooter.
So we don't know if this shooter was actually targeting the detainees who were shot or ICE officials.
We don't know.
Nuanced distinction. Someone can perform something that is politically motivated, but not be aligned with a political movement.
Motive still being investigated.
That's from the great Western lensman. It's amazing. You can commit political violence and we still don't know if you're politically motivated. Again, as we asked yesterday, what if the roles were reversed, as Matt Walsh laid out? What if it was a lone gunman radicalized on the right who shot up a Planned Parenthood place? What would they say? The motive is still unknown. We're still not sure that this guy who had writings on the bullets, who had a social media avatar where he was a communist with a rifle, who said he wanted to instill fear in ICE agents, instill terror in ICE agents, and he wanted them to know there was a sniper on the roof. And these people, one after another, said the motive is still unknown. They will never tell you the truth. They don't care about their reputation as journalists. They're not journalists. They immediately, their reflex, their instinct is, what can we do to defend our guys, our side? Yes, we know who radicalized Joshua Wan. We know. We're thankfully he was a bad shot. The ICE agents did not get hit, unfortunately. Sadly, one illegal alien did. We still don't know his story and why he was detained, but we know what the shooter was setting out to do, and they just won't tell you. That's. I mean, if they will lie about that, what else? What else are they lying about? I mean, that's all they do is lie. It is truly a remarkable thing to see, but it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. This guy was studying Tyler Robinson, trying to emulate Tyler Robinson. You're going to see it again. There are a lot of lost souls out there who don't feel like there's anything less to live for. Fortunately, this guy ended his own life, so we don't have to watch him go to trial or become a hero to the left like Luigi Mangione. But it's going to happen again any day now. Hopefully, the DOJ is out there and prepared to stop the next left-wing lunatic before he strikes. All right, we got so much to get to on this Friday. Let's get to Trump. Yesterday had such a crazy day. Trump was in the Oval Office, just taking any question, answering anything, just winging it as he always does. And this was the highlight. He was asked about Jasmine Crockett and about Ilhan Omar, and he had such. Oh, he is so funny. Here he is saying he spoke to the leader of Somalia about Ilhan Omar, and he had a question for him, an offer for him, and unfortunately, it was turned down. Go ahead.
Jasmine Crockett. Remember what I said? Is she a relation to the late, great Davy Crockett? I don't think so. Jasmine Crockett, let me tell you, before you even ask, she's a very low IQ person. I mean, if we ever had to pass an aptitude test, that's the one should take one, because she shouldn't even be in the crowd. So I have no idea what you're going to, but I don't think we should waste our time. This is a low IQ person who I can't even believe is a congressperson, between her and Ilhan Omar and the group. You know, I met the head of Somalia. Did you know that? And I suggested that maybe he'd like to take her back, and he didn't want her. He said, I don't want her. Okay, what else?
Ilhan Omar, of course, went to X and said what an embarrassment he is. She always says she wants to go back to Somalia. I guess they don't want her. It's too bad, because, she would be happier there. She hates this country. She says her top priority is Somalia, but it's not going to happen. All right, before we get to the story about the Mets announcer, which I want to get to, we need to show this Bernie Sanders clip, because as we know, Jimmy Kimmel's back on the air. He's back on the air, ripping Trump, and I'm sure his audience is back to, his ratings are back to nothing. But their big free speech martyr got a 4-day paid vacation. Our free speech martyr got shot in the throat. But we don't want to get caught up in both sides or whataboutism. But the Democrats are still upset that some of the affiliates, the Sinclair and Nexstar affiliates, are not carrying Jimmy Kimmel. They're waiting to see if they want to put this clown back on the air. And this just made me laugh out loud. Bernie Sanders, of course, joined the chorus in saying they must put Jimmy back on the air. They must. But listen how he put it. This is so good. A tweet from Senator Bernie Sanders. He writes, "Decisions about what Americans watch shouldn't be dictated by political pressure. Nexstar must immediately restore Jimmy Kimmel to viewers in Vermont and across the U.S." Yes, he wrote that. I guess we can give him credit. He writes his own tweets. Can you imagine typing that and sending that? Decisions, put it back up there again. 2 sentences. Decisions about what Americans watch shouldn't be dictated by political pressure. Nexstar must restore Jimmy Kimmel to viewers. Bernie, you got to read those before you send them. That's typical, but from a Democrat saying, it's the free market, but they must do what we say. Trump didn't order them to take Jimmy off the air. He hates Jimmy. He was reveling in Jimmy's little scandal, but he wasn't ordered off the air. Neither did Brendan Carr from the FCC. This decision, again, was made by private companies who heard it from their list of viewers and their advertisers, and they said, we don't want to put this scumbag back on the air. We're still waiting to see if they do or don't, but it ain't government interference. Sorry, Dems. All right, before we go, we got to get to this. There's a rookie for the Chicago Cubs. Good guy, good player, good stud, third baseman Matt Shaw. He was a personal friend of Charlie Kirk. Erica Kirk asked Matt Shaw to come to the memorial service in Arizona on Sunday. Matt Shaw went to the team, said he would like to go honor his friend. He took the day off. He missed a game in the pennant race, missed a game. And I thought it was very cool. I mean, he's a rookie. That's real devotion. He said he connected with Charlie through their faith. And he was a big fan of Charlie and a friend of Charlie. And he said, sorry, I got to go. He went to Arizona, paid his respects, was back with the team the next day. Sounds pretty cool to me. Sounds like a good friend, a good man. This is Mets announcer Gerry Cohen. We're going to get to the punchline, but Gerry Cohen, during the game, play-by-play guy, criticizing Matt Shaw for taking one game off. to go pay his respects to his friend. Check it out.
Shaw had Cubs world in a tizzy this weekend when he was not here for the Cubs game with the Reds. Game they lost 1-0, and in which his lack of presence was felt. It was later revealed that he had been given permission to attend Charlie Kirk's funeral. And I don't want to talk about any of the politics of it, but the thought of leaving your team in the middle of a race for any reason other than a family emergency really strikes me as weird.
It's unusual. I think it's unprecedented, at least from my experience as a player.
That's Todd Zeal going along with it. Look, unusual, unprecedented that he would attend the funeral of his good friend. Now, lots of people were offended, upset at this. And then we found out why Gerry Cohen missed a game not long ago. Gerry Cohen, play-by-play man, and from my experience, play-by-play guys never miss games. They're more insecure and dedicated to their job than players. I mean, they never miss games. You see some of them like have these streaks. What's his name from John Sterling from New York, like didn't miss a game for like 100 years. Gerry Cohen missed a game because his dog died. Yes, the guy who said, who criticized Matt Shaw for missing a game because his friend died, missed a game because his dog died. And there's a real uproar online. People, again, we've talked about it for 2 weeks. I don't think Democrats, I don't think liberals understand just how much it hit home when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Someone like Matt Shaw, that affected him deeply. He was hurt, he was enraged, he was upset, and he took a day and went to pay his respects to Charlie and to his widow, Erica, who asked him to come. And this a-hole, Gerry Cohen, says, well, I don't know. That's unusual. That's unprecedented. Todd Zeal, yeah, I never heard of that. Oh, yeah, what happened when your dog died? You dink. Keep it up, because I think the Charlie Kirk effect is going to be felt for years. I don't think people, like your Jimmy Kimmels and your Bernie Sanders, they don't understand just how much Kirk meant, just how important he was, and just how pissed off people are still, and they will remain pissed. They will remain energized and mobilized and enraged about what happened to Charlie Kirk. All right, that will do it. We're waiting. No mugshot yet. Ironhead, I haven't seen. We get a mugshot?
No, not yet. I was ready to plaster that on the screen.
I'm serious when I say this was great. Obviously, it's a good place to start, but why didn't they raid his home? Why didn't they take him away on camera? Why weren't the Newsmax and Fox News invited the way they were when they arrested Roger Stone and others? Why don't they humiliate people like this sleazebag James Comey? That would be nice, but we will wait and see how his mugshot comes out. Something tells me he's not going to be so arrogant, so cocky after this, but we will see. That will do it for today and for this week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm Gerry Callahan. This is The Callahan Show, and we'll do it again Monday morning.
I didn't say it's on one side, but I say the radical left causes tremendous violence, and they seem to do it in a bigger way. But the radical left really is caused a lot of problems for this country. I really think they hate our country.